Resumes, unfortunately, are not taken as seriously as they should have been. And even if maybe people are serious about resumes, they are not strategic enough to understand how resumes should be positioning their capabilities to the external world. People forget the fact that you will be interviewed by an organization and given the chance to demonstrate your skills or past experience at large only if your resume really hits the eye and they feel that they must interview you. And the problem with not investing strategically enough in a resume is more prevalent in, let's say, this CA Janta as compared to the MBA folks, because on campus you have a placement committee, a resume committee. You can get your resume vetted by 3 seniors and get feedback, and what comes out is that one pager which is cutting edge. As compared to that, in a correspondence course like CA, we often face that limitation that we do not have people to whom we can go and get the resume vetted, and therefore we float a resume which might be an underrepresentation of our true capabilities. Now, what are the common things that are what I observe when it comes to resumes? So, for example, you have to strategically plan that whether you want to position yourself, maybe let's say as an individual contributor as compared to a team leader. Now, let's say you are aspiring for a salary of 60 lakhs, 70 lakhs per annum. In that kind of a resume, most organizations will look for your team management skills. But if your resume really comes across as someone who has been doing financial modeling, who's been doing sensitivity analysis, preparing notes, and each and every bullet comes across as this person has done all of this himself, in that case, that team element is not coming. Now, if I were to consider yourself for mid management or senior management roles, that resume will be a major limitation to your process of advancement. The probability that your resume will get shortlisted simply because you've not positioned that CV as a team manager's CV, you've positioned that CV as an individual contributor CV. Now, for example, a lot of people try very fancy career objectives, which are a copy paste from someone else's resume. And in the world of ChatGPT, you can easily make out whether that resume has been written by yourself or lifted from someone else, because one's eye over a period of years becomes very trained to separate the Diwane Aam from Diwane Khas. People don't invest enough on their career objectives, and even if they write a good career objective, it does not come across as someone who is really representing the capabilities such that I want to be as focused as that I want to build a career in management consulting. That does not come across. To strive relentlessly for excellence in a meritocratic organization where my individual goals are aligned to that of the organization, working for mutual growth and benefit. These things are cliched career objectives, a thing of the past. And if you're still clinging on to them, you're up for disaster. And a lot of people make the mistake of sending the same resume for 4 different kind of job profiles, not understanding the fact that it is important to customize resumes to the particular jobs that you're applying for. So for example, if you go to a particular restaurant, you will see that their paneer as a preparation is broadly the same, but depending on what the customer wants, they add a tadka and a gravy on top of that, and they serve you maybe a kadhai paneer and a matar paneer and a malai kofta. Similarly, a CV which is making you apply for management consulting should be different from one which makes you apply for investment banking or private equity, vis-a-vis one for general management in maybe a Unilever or an Aditya Birla. It's important for you to understand that people want to see those keywords on your resume before they want to invite you for the interview. So if, let's say, you are getting interviewed for a chief of staff position at this MNC, they will want to understand that have you ever really worked in a chief of staff. Now, if your resume comes across as someone who has been more into taxation or into accounting and not really had that general management flavor, for them this becomes a big negative in terms of your candidature. So then whatever you've done in the past has to be customized in terms of trying to position that whatever is required in this particular job description. Let's say as a chief of staff, you're supposed to have a strategic outlook, you have to analyze performance, you have to interact with a lot of stakeholders. Whatever you've done in the past has to be customized to that particular thing. That is very essential. That requires some level of expertise. If you do not have that expertise with yourself, let's say you're a fresher or maybe just into the trade, please get the help of some experts, but do that. That can really bolster your chances of getting shortlisted and moving ahead in the interview process. Also, it's important to quantify your achievements. There is a STAR framework, which is situation and task and the action and the result. Very good framework in terms of trying to understand out, okay, what did you do, what was the problem at hand, and what did you conceptualize, what did you implement, and what was the impact, the result of that. So for example, you really tell people that, okay, I was handling this insurance portfolio, which was an aggregate spend of 9 crore rupees in that organization, and through various interventions, optimization on the spend, negotiations, and maybe doing the time duration adjustments, I optimize that spend by 9%. So people can clearly understand that 9% of 9 crores or 8 crores is like 70-80 lakh rupees. This person adds value. So if this person is demanding that kind of salary, it is okay. He or she is going to bring that value onto the table. In terms of commercial negotiations or in terms of systems implementation, what exactly have you done? If you've managed a treasury portfolio, tell people that I've managed a treasury with an average assets under management of 1250 crores, yielding a benchmark against the benchmark of 3.43%. I have yielded 3.73%, 30 basis higher than the benchmark, because we did a judicious mix of ultra duration funds or short term funds as compared to just overnight or liquid funds. Or maybe I took a dose of liquid plus, carefully understanding what exactly were the duration mismatches that one should have been careful about. Now, if you do that, it's clear positioning that what you've done is substantial. Even if you've done internship in an audit firm, rather than just writing the audit program in terms of I've reviewed the physical assets and did this, did that, quantify and highlight the achievements that, okay, this is what I have done. I've identified these control weaknesses. I've done this process and understanding. I have found out these excess payments. Whatever you could do, which added value that people would have said, okay, this person has not just come here and ticked the boxes. That is what needs to be put there in the resume. I hope I am trying to make myself very clear on that. And then where it comes to keywords, etc., because a lot of companies today use applicant tracking systems, ATS. So then what happens is that unless there is keyword density, unless the right sentences are there, your resume might not really be picked up. When someone searches for you on Naukri.com or CAJobportal.com or any famous job portal, so it's important for you to have those right keywords, those right skill sets written there, that people, when they search for your resume, it comes up on the top. So, when your resume was last updated on that portal, and the recency of your visit or your log on to that portal is important, because otherwise people feel that you are not an active job seeker. So in terms of resumes, things like career objective, things like quantifying your past experience, positioning yourself, whether you want to position yourself as an individual contributor or as a team leader, whether you want to position yourself as a supply chain finance professional or a general management professional or a specialist like a investment banker or a PE professional, those things have to be very carefully understood. And then one final passing thing is that your contact details must be very sharply pointed. Contact anurag@gmail.com, anuragsinghal@gmail.com, as compared to handsomeanurag@gmail.com or lovelypooja@gmail.com. That should not be there. And the phone number also is always best to give an alternate phone number also, so that in case people are not able to contact you on your primary phone number, they are at least able to pass on the message to the secondary chap. So these are the things that you must look at it from a resume perspective. I am sure that if you really put that extra effort, it will pay off in terms of getting you much better calls, much better career progression objectives as compared to just running a generic resume and trying to become part of that vast majority of people who get suboptimal returns from life. Hope this makes sense. Thank you.